me a little bit. Let me first go to Miss Jessica Brennan. I think you're one of the first people on the Zoom early. So tell me, who did you interview with and what's your background and what has you on tonight's Zoom?
Hi, I interviewed with Candace and Tony.
Okay.
And my background is in financial services, ranging anywhere from banking to mortgage industry, all the way to corporate retail and then small business owner.
Okay, so financial services, so that's awesome. Banking, and you said a small business owner?
Yes.
Okay, what type of business?
Okay, so it's really weird, I swear, but it was a happy accident, I swear. So I'm really kind of arts and crafty, and I started a hobby of making like glitter tumblers a while back, like just the customized stainless steel tumblers. And a few years ago, we realized there was a short supply of glitter in the US, believe it or not. You basically had like primary colors and that was it. So we were like one of the first small owned shops to actually expand range in that. And it just took off, it exploded. But you know, everything has its season and it's not necessarily like life insurance is. So whenever the economy gets tough, so does people's extra money.
Right.
So I learned so much, so grateful for the experience. But yeah, that was my crazy small business story. It was enough to quit my corporate job. So
that's what matters. That's what matters. I call it the entrepreneurial bug. You kind of face as like a little bug and then you don't ever want to go back.
Exactly.
So awesome. Well, that's really good to hear. So you're looking for something, what has you on tonight is something that's going to be a little bit more stable. And I hate the word stable. It's like overused, but something, you tell me, what is it that you're really looking for?
Okay, so what got me into this was in being an entrepreneur, you learn a lot more on the business side of things, a lot of things on the financial side of things. And that led me to learn about life insurance. And I had seen both sides of the coin, where people who pass away who do not have it, and then people who pass away whenever they do have it and it's well planned out. And I thought there was a lack of education about life insurance. So I just, out of interest in reading it, out of a hobby, it just kind of grew into something that I was more and more curious about. And then I was like, you know, I could do that. And so it just kind of developed and led me to want to do a career switch to it. And so that's what got me here.
Well, excellent. So lack of education. I just wrote that down because it's so true. You know, I sit with people every single day and there's not a lot of different life insurance policies out there. And you would think that because there's not that many that people would be a little bit educated, but it's not. And you see people that have the wrong type all the time and they don't understand how it works. And so our sales approach is a consultative sales approach where we come alongside of you like a teacher. I'm a mom and, you know, I love to teach my kids. I do the same thing as a transferable skill set. And it's the best one for sales, in my opinion. So love to hear that. Let me go next to, who do I want to go to? Who's the next victim tonight? Let's go to Caden. Is it Caden? Victoria? Hey there.
Yeah, my legal name is Victoria, but I go by Caden.
Gotcha. So tell me about you.
Really in the past, I've only been in, you know, the loop of fast food, restaurant, retail.
Okay.
And it's been kind of like an ongoing cycle that I haven't been able to get out of, and I've been trying to get out of that cycle.
Okay. All right. And so who did you interview with?
I am not sure. I just got this info and everything. I didn't know there was supposed to be like another thing.
Okay. Excellent. So what are you looking for? So you said that you're trying to get out of the fast food, and I'll tell you about my fast food experience here in a minute. What is it that you're looking for? Like, what do you want in a career, or what makes you feel like this is a good fit for you?
I've just always wanted a career to like help people.
Okay.
Like that's just always been a passion for me. I love helping people, and this seems like a good fit for me.
You know, it's amazing because all we do, and I try to keep it simple, silly. I'm blonde, right? And so I got to keep it simple. And you feel a need, you make a friend and you feel a need. You
Mhm.
make a friend and you fill a need. That's all we do. So helping people is amazing. And then the byproduct of that is, you know, you help enough people get what they want. In return, you also get what you want, right?
Okay.
So that's always been my philosophy, is make a friend and fill a need. If I can do that every single day, I can do something that's worthy of doing, and I can provide for my family. And so keeping all that's, you know, stuff out of there. But let's go next. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's go to, let's see here. How about Troy? See Troy? You want to come off of mute? Tell me about you.
Can you all hear me?
I can. Hey, Troy, how are you?
I'm well. So, yeah, my name is Troy. Nice
Okay.
to meet you all.
Nice to meet you. Tell us about you. Who did you interview with, and what are you looking for? What had you on tonight's Zoom?
I actually interviewed with Adrian. It's a great interview, very informative. Some basically just looking for some growth here and stability. My family here, so just trying to see what opportunities present themselves and how I could progress and be an asset moving forward.
Okay. So you said growth.
Yes.
Okay. What are you currently doing now?
I actually work for a company contracted through General Motors. It's customer service based. So pretty much just helping customers with vehicular concerns.
Okay. What do you love about it?
The service part, I couldn't quite get a name, but like the individual just spoke about helping people is very fulfilling. So that's I would say that's pretty much the basis of it.
Okay. And what do you feel like is lacking in what you're currently doing?
The opportunity for growth. It's been pretty stagnant for the past year or so. So yeah.
I mean, that's the right word, stagnant. I mean, I talk to people every single day about this business for the most part. And the amount of people that feel stagnant is staggering, if I want to put two S's together. Okay. So helping people and just not wanting to be stagnant. I was the same way. Let me go next to, I'll have one more victim and then we'll kind of move on. Let me go to Brianna Green. Hi, Brianna.
Hi.
How are you?
Okay. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty well. If you can, who did you interview with? What are you doing currently? What's your background? And what is it that you're looking for?
I interviewed with Michaela Mobley. Excuse me, I have the flu, so
sorry.
I'm under the weather, but bear with me.
Sound fantastic. And you're a trooper. Here.
I'm trying. Also, just to give a little bit of background, I have human resource and recruiting background.
Okay.
Also administrative. I'm currently a substitute teacher. And I love it, but it's just not reaching my financial goals at the moment. And what was the last question?
What are you looking for? Sorry, I have a tickle in my throat, y'all.
Be careful. That's how it started.
Well, I've had the flu already, so maybe I won't get it again. But just tell us what it is that you're looking for, that in a perfect career or your next opportunity. What is that one thing that you just really want?
My biggest thing is security and flexibility. Just because I have children and I've worked positions where, it didn't allow, time. And when your kids are young, time is of the essence. So
You're right. I get it. I've got a 15-month-old, a 3-year-old, and a 13-year-old. I was almost late to our Zoom tonight coming off of the soccer field. So I get it. What I love that you just said was security and flexibility. Sometimes we think about those two things as, I don't want to say oxymorons, but like security is like rigid, but then you need the flexibility. And sometimes we fall into this part of our lives where, we need both simultaneously. And how do we do that? And I'll tell you that no one is going to pay you more than you're going to pay yourself, right? In any given thing, when you want something bad enough and you have the ability to pay yourself, you'll go to work harder for yourself than you will for anybody else most of the time. And so that's where your security comes from, is you wanting something bad enough that you'll go out there and you'll do it. And then that also breeds your flexibility, right? I work hard, but I'm going to be flexible when it comes to my family, because that's why I do this, so it is possible. Let's see here. Okay, so it is 8:27. I want to go ahead and jump into a few things. Thank you guys for those that came off of mute and told me a little bit about you. I appreciate that. And if you want to go ahead and mute your phones or your lines back, I'd appreciate that. That way there's no background noise. But most of you, that you're on here, I'm hearing a little bit about kind of what it is that you're looking for, what you need. But most people, they're asking, can I trust you? I don't know you from Adam, most of you, right? And can you help me make money? Right? And I felt the same way back in 2015. When I got into the insurance industry, I was never looking to get into insurance. My degree is actually in film studies. Okay. Like totally left field. And I was going through a really tumultuous divorce and I needed a job. So I was working at Chick-fil-A. I had a 5-year-old. I was 24 and I was making about $1,700 a month, about $13 an hour. And I knew that I was operating under my potential. People would come through the store that I knew and I honestly felt like they had all this freedom and flexibility and I didn't. I had to stay in these 4 walls and I had to bag food. I was a marketing director, but really I was bagging food for the majority of the day. And I was honestly just praying for an opportunity for something to change my life. I was just so not wanting that. I don't know if anyone else has felt like they're operating under their potential, but it's a really bad feeling. But it's also a good thing to get you going into the right direction. And I remember a gal came into the Chick-fil-A named Ashley, who's my direct coach still to this day. And I just remember, she had something about her where she was going somewhere and I knew that. And I just asked her, I said, what do you do for a living? And she goes, I help seniors and I sell life insurance. And it was like over my head. It's like, what is that? And she said, you know what? I'm actually going to Charlotte, North Carolina tomorrow for a sales blitz and you should totally come with me. And I remember thinking, okay, I have a full-time job. I have to request off 2 weeks from now. And maybe I'll be able to take that time. But I appreciated the fact that she just assumed that I could do that, right? That freedom, that flexibility. And so I did, I took a day and I watched her make a friend and fill a need. And I said, if this blonde chick can do it, then I can do it. She had a system in place. It was predictable. She was predictable. And that's honestly how I got into the insurance industry. And I jumped full force. I remember my boss told me at Chick-fil-A, hey, that's a male dominated business. Good luck. If you want to come back, I really like you. And, I'll have your job here for you. And that I kind of use that as motivation, so to speak. But my first year, I really wanted to make it work. So I made 6 figures my first year in the business. I worked 4 days a week. I took Fridays off to be a normal mom with my daughter. My second year, I made $125,000. Third year, 157. Then 220, 280, 360, and 550 this past year within a 7-year period in this industry. And never thinking about life insurance ever. Most people don't wake up every single morning and say, hey, I want to get into life insurance. I'm going to go sell insurance to seniors, sometimes in the ghetto. I don't know. It wasn't what I thought, but I'm so glad that it was. And I'll tell you, I was reading a study or something on Instagram, I think, and it was about opportunity. And there's a Harvard study that said that typically you have 2 opportunities in life, one in your 20s and one in your 40s. And for me, mine was in my 20s. I was 24. Now, some of you might not be in your 20s or your 40s, but the gist of it is you get 2. And it's what you do with those opportunities that matter, right? And most people, what they're going to do is they're not going to have that sense of urgency to go after or to go forward or to make something happen with the opportunities that do come in front of them, right? And so I hope that you guys are ready for opportunity. If you're looking for one, there is one here. And so, the last thing I'll say is, you do things for the results that it brings. Like for me, the reason why I pushed hard in this industry, in this business, was because of my kids. Right? I had that one child. I ended up having 2 more kids, got remarried, and I wanted to make sure that I was on a statistic, right? And I wanted to prove people wrong. And I wanted to make sure that my kids had a fighting chance to have better than I had, right? And so you got to ask yourself what it is that you want. Why do you do what you do every day? Is it worth it? Is the appraisal of your life what you want it to be? If not, then you need to make a change, right? And so let's see here. I do want to go ahead and introduce you to two amazing brokers. I've got James and Ashley. And then after we talk to them for a minute, then I'll give you a few meat and potatoes about our company, kind of the way that our system operates. But let me first go to Miss Ashley. Okay. I'm going to start with Ashley, ladies first. Sorry, James. And Ashley, if you want to go ahead and come off of mute, and if you're make sure your camera is on, and just introduce yourself. Hey there.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. So just tell us a little bit about you, right? How you kind of came into the whole NASB family, got into insurance as a life insurance broker, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so I was in the dental field for almost 18 years. I was an assistant. So I was introduced to NASB after 17 years of the same career. And about like you, Laura, I knew I couldn't go anywhere else. I couldn't go any further unless I wanted to go to school for 8 years. And at 37 years old, I didn't want to do that. So I was introduced to NASB, and I really have never turned around. I knew didn't want to be where I was. And when I have to say, I went to school with Dustin, as you know, and I would see Ashley and Dustin and all their success on Facebook. And I think my biggest regret was being scared that I couldn't never leave where I was. My biggest regret is never saying, Dustin, what are y'all doing? Like, and I think about, you've been in the career for 7 years, and where I could be if I'd have started, all those years ago when Ashley and Dustin started. And NASB, I have to say, it's the best family that I've ever worked for. NASB is a family. No matter what kind of day you're having, you always have someone there in your corner cheering you on. We have a culture like no other. I'll get sentimental, sorry. Over the last 9 months, I've more than doubled my income of my previous career. It took me 9 months to get my first promotion, but everybody that you just talked to, their story's different. Our success is different. Like you said, you worked 4 days, you were off on Friday. You can make your success how you want to make it. If you want to work 4 days and run hard, you can do that. If you want to work 6 days, you can do that. The flexibility to be a mom, I was a single mom for 5 years, and, trying to take off of work if your child's sick, or if you needed to take them to the doctor, if you need to go to a ball game, you couldn't do that. And the flexibility that NASB has given me, being a mom, being a pastor's wife, I'm able to go be that person that I need to be, and if I have one thing to say to anybody looking at this and ready to run, don't compare yourself to others. Put your head down, work. Like I said, everybody's success story is different. Laura, just like I do, when you're in a W-2 world, you go to work, you know what you're going to get paid. Just like you said, you have the potential. If you want it, go make it. If you want to make 6 figures, go work hard at it. If you don't, then you won't. I mean, NASB is my family. I'm so blessed to be a part of this.
Well, there's a will, there's a way, right?
That's right.
Winners find a way. And I remember Ashley telling me that I had like maybe a month or two in the beginning. I remember I was doing really good, and then I had like a month or two of like a slump, and it was really all the slumps were based off of your mindset.
Yes.
This is a mental business, right? It's all about your abilities and your growth and learning how to do things better, right? And I just remember her saying, where there's a will, there's a way, and winners find a way.
Yes.
I know I'm a winner. If no one else tells me, I know that I'm a winner.
That's right.
And then let's see here if I had, okay. So you said your biggest tip was don't compare yourself. The comparison game is crazy, like especially with social media. And I love social media, but it is crazy, right? It's a highlight reel. So run your own race, but out of the system, I know we haven't really gone over it yet, but if you were to close your eyes and the first thing that comes to your mind, what is the one thing other than the culture? Because you've mentioned that was like the in the sand flag for NASB. What was that one thing that you're so glad about the system, whether it's leads, presentation, communication, the schedule, or, all of the different faucets of the system? What is it?
I would say schedule and people. The people, you, Ashley,
Mhm.
Michaela. If I have a question, I can pick up the phone. I can call you. If I don't know something, y'all do. You've been where I'm at. You know, my first conference was in October. That next week, I hit 10K that week. But it made me realize that if you can do it, if Ashley can do it, if Michaela can do it, I can do it.
It's
And
duplicatable.
yes, it is. And our system, and you know, like you said, when you make a friend with a client today, me and another agent were working together in South Carolina, and the woman said, you relieve me. You took that pressure off of me. She said, that is a burden I don't have to carry anymore. And you know, working in the dental field, I work with people every day. My heart is for people. You know, the last holiday, Martin Luther King, I have some clients in like, you know, this low income housing. And I just went there that day, had lunch with them too. Like that made their day. Your clients become your family. They're a friend. They need you.
Right. And what I love that you said, and then we'll move on, is, you know, you just said, I love people. It's a transfer of energy. Sales is a transfer of energy. And so when you believe in the product, right, and you have a great platform and you know that, and you believe that for yourself, that transfers. I
Yes.
was listening to something the other day, or it was today, by Ed Milet, who's one of my favorite motivational teachers, everything about financial services. And he said, you know, sales is not about getting someone to believe what you're saying. It's getting someone to believe that you believe what you're saying. That's the small caveat, right? And when you do, and you really do know that this is going to help someone and it's going to help you, that transfers. And then the sale is the byproduct. So, but before we move on, you've been here 9 months?
Yes, ma'am.
Diggity dog, not even a year in, and you landed yourself on this Zoom. That's awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
Top income month.
6 to 8.
6 to 8. So 8,000 is your top income month.
Yes, ma'am.
You're averaging between 6 and 8. And so 8 is your top. Excellent.
Yes,
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank
Great job. And before we move on to James, I just want to give you guys a few stats real quick. Okay. A little bit of information. So let me see if I can find my notes here real quick. Okay. So in 2020, this is just crazy stuff. In 2020, anybody remember 2020? It was COVID, right? It was crazy. And I had been in insurance for several years, but I've never been through anything like COVID, right? When the economy just freaking shut down and we didn't know what was going to happen, right? I will tell you, 49 million Americans lost their jobs, right? During that time, 49 million Americans lost their jobs that people felt secure in. Jobs with benefits, 401ks, all the stuff that people think showed that stability. NASB had an increase of 26% growth. When everyone else was losing their jobs, we grew at 26%. And that means that people wanted our product and we were able to offer jobs. So, I mean, I was learning how to do over Zoom. I was learning how to do all this stuff. And I was like, well, how am I going to get through this? Right. And we've talked about it being recession proof, recession resistant, but it was like where rubber hit the road in 2020. And I can be someone that says without a shadow of a doubt that it was truly recession proof. Right. And seeing that 26% growth. On average, our company has had 20% growth year over year. And the whole market for the final expense market, which is our niche, the baby boomers, it's going to grow from $22 billion as of 2021 to over $25 billion by year 2025. That's a lot of growth that you guys get to look forward to, that you can capitalize on by getting licensed. And like I said, no industry can say that they are recession proof. I know I just kind of said it, but you can see they're recession resistant. In financial services, life insurance, they're as recession resistant as you can get. But there's inflation, guess what? That's an automatic pay raise, to be honest with you. Because what that does is when you look at inflation, that the cost of cremations, the cost of burials go up. And so people need more coverage. So by default, if they need more coverage, the premiums are a little bit higher. You have a raise, right? Which is crazy. Now, NASB, North American Senior Benefits, we are a final expense brokerage. Basically, what we do is we help folks with what? Burial insurance, death insurance, to keep it simple, kind of morbid, but people need it. And that's tapping into the baby boomers, right? That's our target market. And between 1942 and 1964, 76 million people were born. That's the baby boomers. 10,000 people every single day turn 65 right now. It's the biggest transfer of wealth that's happening, and it's the largest portion of the population is the baby boomers. And so anything that you are doing that is tapped to the baby boomers is literally going to be booming. And so they're still turning 65. They're not going anywhere right now. So it's one of the best. Let's see here. Okay, so 4 pillars of NASB. Our brokerage. Number one, we're a legitimate brokerage. What that means is that we have a multiplicity of carriers. It's not just one size fits all, baby. If you've got somebody that has a health condition, or they have a different need, you don't have to pigeonhole them into one product. You have multiple different carriers, multiple different products. Obviously, we have our niche of, the final expenses, traditional whole life insurance. But if someone is 2 weeks old up to 89, you can do anything and everything in between. But you have a product and you have a company to match that, which is what I love about our company. Let's see here. At Simple Issued Business, guys, and what that means with Simple Issued Business is it's not fully underwritten. You don't have to wait weeks or months for something to get approved. Like there are, other types of insurance that take forever to get approved, or real estate. And I love real estate. Don't get me wrong. I'm investing in real estate all day long, right? But this is simple. It's approved in the home. The application gets done between 8 and 10 minutes. Like, hello, 8 to 10 minutes and tell someone you're approved, and then you're paid a day or 2 days later on average, direct deposit to your bank account. Okay. Legitimate brokerage, simplified issue, day one vesting. So you have total access to the carriers, the underwriters, and you own your book of business. So we're not a captive agency that caps you on your products and caps you on your income and caps you on basically everything, right? And so you own that book of business. So if you do this for 5 years and you decide, you know what, maybe insurance isn't for me, it's okay, right? You own that book of business. Those renewals, they're yours, right? It's beautiful. I didn't even realize some of that when I got licensed, guys. That's how I was just ready to run and make some money. I didn't even realize all the back end money that you can have in owning that book of business. Shame on me, right? Let's see here. So day one vesting, and also able to develop your own agency, right? So you're invested with your book of business. You can grow your book of business to whatever you want it to be. You own that, and you have the ability to grow and basically franchise out. In-house lead system. You have qualified leads. People are actually saying, hey, listen, I want help with life insurance. That's through direct mail leads. That's through Facebook. That's through Google. There's a plethora of different types. Talk to the person that interviewed you for more information, right? On all that, all the different types and things like that. It's amazing. We have our own in-house. And then number 4 is the advancement for real opportunity. Advancement for real opportunity. I don't go around saying my deposits all the time, but I do it to show you guys that within a 7-year period, the trajectory of deposits and income that you can achieve to show you the real-time advancement. You can advance through becoming the best salesperson that you can be, and earning promotions on your own PIN, growing your agency, having your renewals, your overrides, all of those things. There's ability for you to grow. You're not capped on someone having to die or for someone to move for you to actually grow and develop. I've called this my pruning process, where I've been able to grow and develop both personally and professionally at my own pace and whatever it is that I wanted to accomplish. I've been with one insurance company. I haven't jumped from different company to company. I haven't jumped from different sales to different sales, right? I've stayed with one course. I followed one course until successful. Write that down. That's an acronym for focus. Okay. Follow one course until successful. And that's what I've done here. And that's why I've been able to grow that advancement like I'm talking about. All right. That's just a little bit of the meat and potatoes. There's a lot more. It's hard to kind of fit it in and respect y'all's time. But before we jump off, I want to go ahead and have you guys hear from James. He's one of my faves. He's worked with me for about 4 years now, I believe. So James, if you want to go ahead and come off of mute, show your handsome face, introduce yourself, and tell us a little bit about you, your background, and what has you on this Zoom tonight and the questions that I sent you.
Okay, so can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, cool.
How you doing?
All right, so I'm doing pretty good. It's been a busy day, so I'm
good.
still in the car, but yeah, that's good.
So you're telling me you're giving us time in between houses, you're still out there in the field selling policies?
No, I'm done. I'm done with that for now. Um, but yeah, so when I came in, it was actually just like what you were talking about a minute ago. It was actually right at COVID time. So it's been in March, it'll be 3 years. But I was a massage therapist, so I was in the spa industry, where it is typically a lot more females in it than men. So it's quite the opposite of what this is traditionally. I mean, when I came in this, I didn't really have any choices because COVID came in. I came off of Facebook. So I met my mentor there, Bryson, and it was kind of like what you said. When you met Ashley, he said, we're helping seniors, we're doing their life insurance. I mean, it's pretty easy. Go ahead and hop in the car and see what it's like, man. And I haven't turned back since. I mean, from the questions that I got, I mean, really what I take out of this is that I obviously get a lot more in my income. I've more than doubled my income since coming in. I was a little bit under $50,000 a year as a massage therapist, and now I'm a little bit over $100,000 a year. So I'm super happy with that. And then on top of that, I mean, I don't hurt all the time, but my big thing is that I get to spend time with my kids. I know it sounds real cliche for people to say that, that you're getting that time with your family, but you really do. I mean, I don't miss doctor's appointments. I don't miss school things at the school. I don't miss anything anymore because I am my own boss. So I don't have to let anybody, give them an advance notice or anything like that. I kind of just get to make those decisions. And like you guys were saying, you can hustle all those days. If in the earlier in the week what your week is going to look like, you plan for that, set yourself up for that, and you can do that here. Something that I love about our company that kind of sets us apart from anybody else, what I think is number one is our in-house lead system. So our leads aren't going to any other company. They're for NASB agents only, and we're the only ones that get those. And there's a big selection of different leads that you can get, depending on the type of money that you're wanting to spend. And then the second thing that I wrote down was our coaching. And Andrew Everhart said this at national conference. He said that we don't have armchair managers. So I really like that because our managers really will hop right in the car with you. Even Laura sitting in there looking all nice, she'll hop in the car with you and ride right along to the houses with you. It's not somebody that's yelling at you from an office. So they really do have that in the management or in your coaches, because I don't consider anybody like my manager, more of a mentor. But I mean, those are two big things there. Tell me if I'm saying anything that's too much.
You're fine.
As far as average income, I looked back at that, and I average anywhere from between 8,000 and 10,000 a month. And my best income month has been 12,000, like right under 12,500.
Awesome.
So that's that. And then, okay, you go ahead.
So give us like one, just like one tip. If you're someone that's thinking about coming aboard, give us that one tip.
Okay, that's where I was anyways. Cool. I mean, jump in with both feet. Don't be afraid to listen to the person who's bringing you in the business, your mentor, because they've been through it, and they wouldn't put you through anything, honestly, and from experience that they haven't been through themselves.
Right.
So yeah, and don't be scared to invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself. Exactly. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on. I'm proud of you. I'm glad for you to double that income and go from 50,000 to 100,000. You know, what is it? It's like 3% of the population, or 3% of America is actually six-figure earners, I believe. And so it's insane how many six-figure earners that we have within NASB. And so moving forward, guys, what I would say is after this Zoom, your job is to reach back out to your direct coach, the one that interviewed you. Okay. Reach out to them, set up a shadow day, a day to watch a day in the field, right? To make sure that you like them, they like you, it's a good fit. You can watch that normal day that James is talking about, that I did, and go back for them to expand on anything else about the business, about anything that we went over. They can do that with you. And I look forward to seeing who rises up, who takes on the NASB challenge and makes it their next career. All right, you guys have a blessed one. Thanks. Bye.